But many of us think, oh, he says we get indoctrinated and programmed at an early age in our educational systems. And he says that the direction in which the educational systems are going, he's like, doing this? Like, where is it going now? Hi everyone, I am coming on live on my Facebook page, Kristin Davies, and I'm just going to share this out into my group, Intuitive Angel Messages, and other groups online. December 10th, I have a Rewire Your Chakra Centers class coming up. So we're going to scan your chakra centers, possibly rewire or replace them. And I'm going to be talking about that during the class. It is on December 10th, starts at 9 a.m. So if you feel as though your chakra centers might need some work, that's coming up. And also, there are only a few spots left to schedule a reading for 30% off. And that's through my website as well, KristinDaviesMedium.com. Not only can Spirit hear and figure out what you're thinking. Okay, it's very easy for them. Your thoughts when you speak or when you think, it's energy, and that energy gets sent out, kind of like a radio station tower. It gets sent out and they all pick up on it like this. So if they want, they can just have a look at all different avenues of maybe potential paths in the future of what's to come, or also what's transpired in the past. They can do this. It's very easy for them. So when I was chatting with Eric, he pulled up a memory that I have in my mind of a TikTok that I pulled up online recently, and I just skimmed through it. And he brought it to the forefront as an example of what to talk about first. And I thought that was kind of interesting. I don't know if you guys have ever watched the TV show. It's called Mob Wives. So it's all the daughters and the wives of the mob bosses, predominantly in New York or surrounding area. And one of the women, it was her brothers, her father, her uncles, they were all in that industry, and she was the nicest one. Okay, she was the nicest one of the whole bunch. And so there was this TikTok that came out, and I remember watching the show when she was saying it, and now it's a TikTok floating around, a snippet, but she was basically saying, why am I going to save $1? I mean, you could die tomorrow, you could drop dead tomorrow, and you'd be out of here. So what am I going to save $1 for? And then shortly after she said that on the TV show, it was like a year later, and she did pass away. She developed cancer and she died. And that was the memory that Eric brought up in my mind. Isn't that wild? So anyways, so that's the memory he wanted to put in my head. First he's saying, hi guys. And he's waving hello to everybody. He's really excited to answer each of your questions. Remember, if you're going to ask him a question, it might come through as pretty punchy, okay? So just keep that in mind. We're not channeling the angels, although Eric might see himself as a sweet, innocent angel. But basically put, we are channeling Eric. So get ready for more direct guidance, okay? That's how he rolls. All right, so you ready for me to read this? Sure, okay. All right, so the first thing he said is do the things that make you really happy in life right now, okay? That's most important, irregardless of what some things might cost. Now, obviously, we're not going to rent a jet plane and fly off to the Bahamas, okay, unless you really have the money to do so. But if you want to go and meet someone for a tea, or if you want to go to a movie or do something that makes you happy, do it. Okay? And it's interesting that he's saying this because this is exactly how it was when I first started channeling my guardian angel. I was always like, no, I can't because I've got to penny pinch every square inch. I have to hold on to my money. But the truth is that in some capacity, it's really important to spend the money and to feel a sense of normalcy is what he's saying. And it's really important. I'm burning incense, by the way. So this is incense here, guys. Just so you know, you're not, oh my God, oh my God. So it's really important to enjoy life. And if, say, you come upon like $100 or $50 out of the blue, make sure you use some of it to enjoy yourself, okay? To be happy. So my aunt was the queen of this. I think she's similar to you, Lisa, where she would literally like go out and spend and spend and spend. And me and some of the other girls, we all hang out with her because she would rent her rooms in her house to people from all over the world. So we'd have girls from Korea, Japan, China, Sweden, and they'd come here to learn English, and we'd all go out. My aunt would be spending like there's no tomorrow, just like he was saying in that memory that I had. And she always watched the money come back in, and I would sit there in awe watching her and thinking to myself, wow, she's like the ultimate manifester. Like there's going to be some times where you have to have enough money in your account for certain things, like your mortgage payment or your rental payment or whatever it is. But if you have a little extra, go and spend it and have fun, okay? So it's all about being happy, okay, irregardless of what some things may cost, okay? Know when you spend more will come back in and replace it. And that is so the truth. Sometimes I'm at Starbucks and I'll like hear my guardian angel saying, now watch it come back into your bank account as I'm spending the money for what I'm paying for. And I'll get home and there'll be money in my bank account that I was not expecting. And I'm sitting there like, okay, Agnes, thank you. Okay, so it's really, really important to go out, spend the money, enjoy yourself, and when you spend it, know that it's going to come back in, because they'll all make sure it does. All right, so the second thing that he wants to talk about is this is a time to try your best to be happy. Try your best they're using the word jovial. I think that jovial word's coming from the angels, but he's saying happy. And when you operate from this narrative of trying your best to be happy, irregardless of what is happening in your life, okay? So when you try your best to be happy, or just try to see things, pick out the positives. We can pick out the negative is easy. Everybody does that on planet Earth. I mean, we have a boob tube where we can sit and watch all the negative narrative going on planet Earth anytime we want. So let's flip it. Let's switch it and let's see it from this narrative, or we could say, let's see it from this frequency. So you have two choices in every given moment. Is it going to be more in a positive direction or more of a negative direction? I remember my uncle, he would always see things from more of a negative perception, always like the glass is half empty, woe is me, pessimistic, just really negative all the time. And what did he do? He sat by himself. He still does. He sits in his chair like 8-10 hours a day watching TV, smoking, and drinking Diet Pepsi because he doesn't drink water. And what I'm trying to say to you is like, people like that, they don't even really take good care of their bodies that much. And that's fair enough. That's how they want to live. I personally don't want to live like that. I want to see things. I'm not always going to be like positive all the time, but I'm going to pick out the positives that I can see in my life, and I'm going to milk them, and I'm going to watch them flower and blossom. Okay. That's me talking. All right. So when you come from this frequency, you bring in more energy like this. So if you want to bring in more woe is me, victimhood mentality, and more negativity, you can do that if you want to. You're the manifester of your reality. But what he's saying is, let's flip the narrative and let's start looking at more of the positives and let's milk it. And then as you send that frequency out, you're just going to bring more of that back into your experience. All right. You'll bring in more experiences, people, topics. What's the wording you're saying? Certain things to come that are going to be more positive in nature for you. She reminds me that everything is time sensitive, if you want to call it. Everything will expire. This whole lifetime, this whole experience is going to expire. Am I going to sit here and think about the negatives repeatedly through the whole thing and then get to the other side and go, well, that was a big waste of time? You know, so the narrative needs to shift. Because if you want to move in a better feeling place, if you want to have doors open for you and you want to move in a direction that's more positive, then it all has to start from what's going on in between your two ears, right? Nobody else can do it for me. I can't make anybody else do it for me. In fact, because I've shifted in this direction, I've attracted in new friendships that are really positive, and they call me out on my negativity or my negative thinking in the moment. And I'm really appreciative of it. And it just takes them 2 seconds and I go, yep, thank you. Got it. And so none of us are perfect, but it's just about catching yourself in the moment and redirecting. I don't have to I don't have to feel guilt about it. I don't have to feel down about it. I just need to redirect my thought, or just go to doing something simple like doing the laundry or doing the dishes or whatever. I just don't need to continuously move in that direction. All right, what else do we want to say in elaborating on that topic, Eric? Everything operates from the law of attraction, okay? And I know, he says, I know that some of you will say that's silly or that's just absurd, but that's the truth. So what is it that you want? And now he's looking at me, and he's looking at me like Ryan Reynolds in The Notebook. What do you want? What do you want? What is it that you want? What do you want? And now he's just laughing. Okay, so what is it that you want? Many of us have this concept that, especially where Kristin grew up, you work hard, play hard. Okay? Anything you want to achieve, you have to work really hard for it. But that's not always the case. Although he does say that those who are self-employed, they work many hours extra above and beyond when need be. Other times, they don't work as much or at all. But you know, the two things that they do have because they choose this path is time freedom and financial freedom. Okay. And he's giving me a thumbs up with a big smile about that. Okay. So it's all in the palm of our hands. Like how we want to operate in the world and how we want to be in the world. Yes, Ryan Gosling. Originated from Canada, now with a Cuban goddess in the USA. The point is that he's trying to make is we get to decide how this sometimes I'll call this experience a shit show, because it is. It's a little bit of a shit show. Come on, am I right? There's moments where you just go, what? What did I sign up for? But you gotta have the humor about it. It's what pulls you through. It makes you chuckle about it, so it doesn't have its hooks in you as much either. So sometimes you just go, oh my God, especially if you have health issues or surgeries like I have, you just gotta laugh about it. Especially within this shit show here on Earth. It all stems from you. It's not about someone else. It's not about the job you're working or the money that you're earning. He says many of us stumble around trying to figure it out. He says figure out what makes you happy first and foremost. That's the best place to start. And work on loving yourself, caring about yourself. He says treating yourself good, and then go from there. But many of us think, oh, he says we get indoctrinated and programmed at an early age in our educational systems. And he says that the direction in which the educational systems are going, he's like, doing this? Like, where is it going now? So it's really important that we first know what's important and then teach our youngsters what's really truly important, separate from anyone else, so that they can, he says, sniff the bullshit out and then decide if they want to take it on board or not. Listen to what's being shoved down, the kids' throats or not, he's saying. Using discernment. Okay. All right. He's like pretending like he's stretching and he's ready for your questions. So I'm just going to come and have a look here and see where you are with your questions. Be forewarned that the answer might be very direct. So unless you're up for a direct answer, maybe hang back. All right. Richard's here. Woohoo, Lisa. I see you. Joanne. Any snow over there, Joanne? Huh? It's been a mild one over here, I'll tell you that. Real mild. I'm like, El Nino, I missed you so bad. So bad. Like, the last 5 years with El Nina has been a real bummer. So I'm really happy. I'm really happy right now. So Richard has a girl that he really likes, and he's just wondering if you have any feedback. Eric's saying it's not about the girl per se, it's about the practice, Richard. You're getting out there, you're getting on the horse again, you're riding in the saddle, you're seeing how the fit is, you're seeing how the reins feel in your hands, the wind in your hair, Richard. See how it all feels. And it's all about enjoying the moment, enjoying the experience on the horse. Oh my God. So that's what matters most. It's not about the girl per se. It's about the practice and enjoying the journey. Michael would like to have you touch his heart. He's saying that you reach out and touch others' hearts much more than he could ever impact yours. You're doing a wonderful job here. Keep on the straight and narrow. It will serve you well, as it has continued on. He's really proud of you. He's really proud of you because there's not many in your surrounding area that are focused like you are or interested in the things that you are. And he includes family members. He's saying, look how far you come from previous incarnations. He's saying is that you've come a long way in this incarnation in comparison to other ones. Lifetimes, experiences, temporary experiences, however you want to call them. What would you like to relay to Lisa about her partnership? Keep going. It'll get easier. Don't let this hiccup or bump in the road, although it seems like a fairly large bump to you in the road, don't let it knock you off course. You can't go forth without each other. You know this, Lisa. He's a good man. He just, he's finding his way. There are problems that need to be resolved, and they will be in time. Don't be dissuaded. Don't steer off this path. It's going to take extra patience from you. But he says that you've been patient in more ways than one for most of your adult life. This is just testing you more than you're accustomed to. And then anything in regards to her career, the energy, I can tell you right now, the energy he's showing me with your career is fizzling out or fading out. There's not the oomph to get there, to go there. When one door closes, many others open. Don't be concerned. And he would prefer that you don't delay. If this ends, there will be other paths that open for you. He's showing me in the new year So in 2024, but I feel like I just am having a heck of a time getting up and getting out the door to go. Like I can't go. Is that accurate? Like I feel, I just get this bad gut feeling in my tum-tum, and it's your team telling you, okay, so what the angels do is they just pinch the flow of energy coming in through your chakra centers. You're getting that? And I get it right in my solar, in my heart chakra, and out the back of my heart chakra. And I'm even getting it here. So that's a lot. If they're hitting me here at that tells me they're really trying to pump the brakes on you hardcore. They're like, don't go. This isn't where you need to be. So they give that tight pullback sensation in the body to tell you, don't go down this path. It's time to let go, he says. I know with some couples, and this is dependent, it's dependent on many different things. Your health, their health, career, stress levels. But the overall goal for me personally when I'm in a relationship is you want it to be fun, you want it to test you a little bit, and you want to test the other person a little bit. Personally, that's how I am, because you're there to learn with them. But if it's hard all the time, it's a hard slog all the time. Arguing a lot or putting each other down, or it's just creating havoc in your personal life. Personally, I'm not up for hard all the time. So when something's more easier, that's when I'm like, this is it. This is the sweet spot. This is the person that's going to add to my life and make life easier with me. And I'm going to move forward in the world. And I'm going to have my person that I lean on. I'm not interested in hard. So if I see something being hard a lot of the time or confusing, I'm not up for that. Okay, buying property in England with Renata. Is that possible? Is it needed or necessary? If he buys property in England, as long as you can use it to earn money from, okay, so like an Airbnb or long-term rental or whatever the case may be, getting the right tenants in there, because I don't see you guys going to the property or actually using it very often. They would prefer that property is purchased closer to home to keep an eye on, because you won't be able to keep an eye on it as easily from this distance away, unless of course you hire a management company to look after it, which will also be a fee or a cost associated with that. So they don't recommend it. It's just more unawakenedness banging around out there, making decisions on topics that aren't necessary. You agree? Yeah. That's the difference between being awake and unawake. Okay. You start to feel if something feels good. You start to listen. You start to follow your intuition. You start to really make better decisions in life. I can speak for myself. Whereas when I was unawake, oh my God, I wreaked havoc. I was out there doing what I wanted, saying what I wanted, abusing my body when I wanted, didn't care, making decisions. I call it banging around out there. And then we're like, you're to blame, God, you're to blame. Well, what have you been up to? You're a spark of the light. You're a spark of source frequency. What have you been doing out there to bring in and manifest this into your life? No, I haven't been doing anything. Really. Dry as toast. Does that make sense to you? Dry as toast. There's no butter or jam on the toast. It's just dry. Sometimes when the toast is too dry, it's hard to break, which means it's really rigid, which means it's difficult to eat the toast. What are you supposed to do with the toast? Yeah, you get that analogy? He says it with a slight glimmer in his eye, but he's not smiling about it. when he's describing you, Renata, he's describing you as the fresh strawberries with cream on top. So dry toast and fresh strawberries with cream on top don't really sometimes always go together. However, look at the perks and the benefits from being with the dry toast. And that's all you need to look at. You don't need to look at changing him or making decisions for the two of you that this, that, and the other. We don't need to do any of it. Allow him to be as he chooses. You keep being the strawberries and cream and enjoying yourself. That's what he's telling you to do. You just keep being the strawberries and cream and enjoying yourself. Strawberries are very vibrant. You add cream on top, it's like icing on the cake. There's a lot to be enjoyed. That's why he's drawn to you. He's drawn to your light and your beauty. So he says just lap it up and take what you can get. Because the way it is now isn't going to last forever. There's going to be a period of time where you are free and you are going to be able to do what you want to do without having to negotiate with him. He's just thanking all of us, and he says that we're all the best just for coming here to Earth, and he's doing this like this. And it's not easy to incarnate here. He's just talking about us. He's coming right back to the beginning and saying that it's really important for us to stay focused in a positive direction in order to bring that back in and to uplift ourselves and to keep our chins up. Okay. All right, everyone. I'll see you on Saturday. I'll be channeling Bashar, and I can't wait. He has something he wants to talk with us about, so that's what's happening on Saturday. Bye.